What's happening, people? How's it going? So, just a real quick one, just to come through and say, there's a lot of guys who um, sort of get hung up and caught up in a woman's appearance, right? Everything is about whether she's a baddie, her appearance, how she looks, which is fine, right? If you've got a type, if there's a certain type of woman that does it for you, that's fine, right? But if you're a guy that generally goes by or is hung up on a woman's appearance, like say for example you're out in a bar or something and you treat a woman differently or you feel more intimidated by a woman who you would consider, say for example, a 10 or a baddie, and it makes you feel like, oh, she's out of my league, or you feel intimidated and you're kind of like dancing around in circles, you're doing all these mental gymnastics, you then start sweating, you're finding out ways of not to talk to her, not to approach her, then you're a beta male, because you should never ever let a woman's appearance throw you off. You should never ever let a woman's appearance dictate your current emotional standing within yourself. You should never let a woman's appearance influence your mental state and how you feel about yourself in any given moment, right? That just goes to show that you just don't have as much experience with women. You've maybe not dealt with a lot of women. You've not had many sort of like relationships. You've not dated a lot, right? Because once you've been out a lot, once you've, dated a few women and you've had experience, you're not going to be thrown off. And a woman's appearance, no matter how attractive she is not going to influence how you feel about yourself. It's not going to make you second guess yourself. It's not going to make you doubt yourself, right? You should basically be treating all women the same. You really should be. You shouldn't put women on a pedestal, because that's all I see guys doing. They always using the term baddie this, baddie that. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with having a type, but if you're hung up on a woman's appearance and it's influencing you in any way, shape, or form, then it's something you need to work on as a man, right? Because you tend to you realize once you've dated a lot and you've had relationships with women who are, you consider quite attractive, maybe like 9, 10 or whatever, you realize that there's no difference. They're just the same. They poo, they use the toilet, they have bad habits, they have issues just like anyone else, right? So then why would you put, if you've experienced that and you know that, then you wouldn't be intimidated by a woman. You wouldn't let a woman's appearance throw you off. You should, as a masculine man who's confident in himself and knows himself, you should have enough experience. You should have been out there talking to different women, having experiences, and having learned then that all women are essentially the same. And in reality, as a masculine man who knows himself, you should really be looking at the qualities that a woman brings to the table, right? Her appearance should be secondary, even like third down on the list, right? You should be looking at whether she cooperates, whether she can listen, is she easygoing? Like I said, what does she bring to the table? That's what a masculine man looks at, because in a busy man's life, in a masculine man's life, those are the most important qualities. Those are the things that a real man looks for in a woman. He looks at her attitude, especially the attitude. That's something I should have mentioned first. Her overall attitude. Is she easygoing? Is she pleasant? Okay? So those are the things you should be looking for. You should never ever let a woman's appearance dictate anything to you about anything. It means absolutely nothing. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with being attracted to a woman's appearance. Nothing wrong with that. But it should be so far down the list, and I just wish men would understand this. If you're hung up about a woman's appearance, you've not got any experience with women, and you've been hanging around with the wrong guys, and you've been listening to the wrong things. If you learned anything from this video, if you liked what I had to say, please comment and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Have a great day.